It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and guitar picks with Will Little. Dave Brubeck, Blue Rondo a la Turk.
Yep, speaking of odd times, this is off of the Time Out album, which is a whole album dedicated to odd times.
Yeah.
I can't really play anything of Blue Rondo, but you know, the more common one you hear is the Take 5. You know, and it goes on like that. But I really like the feel of Blue Rondo a whole lot. And again, I feel like Take 5, much like Herbie Hancock's Chameleon, is just oversighted as an influence. You know, obviously, it's still an influence for me because I just played it. But I really like the piano on this, and I don't know what horn it is. Maybe it's a soprano sax that's just going on, the interweaving of that. Kind of a pedal tone on the piano, a constant droning note with a moving counter melody either above or below it, and it's a real nice group of layers that comes together to make a real nice final product.
So how long have you been playing, and how'd you get into music?
I started playing guitar after I was a freshman in high school, the summer after that, so I guess I was about 14. This was back in, I guess, 94. Because I remember it was around the OJ fiasco and all that, and obviously when I was a freshman in high school, it was probably around 94. So I was real big into the grunge alternative scene to start off with, Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins, and you know, that's a real good way to start when you're just learning the instrument, because you know, you learn your basic chords and some simple strong structures, and you know, just that kind of rude garage type of feel. Smashing Pumpkins was real interesting to me, starting off because they kind of had a little bit more of a technical edge to it with the two guitars, and you know, they played some more complicated lines. And as long as I've been playing music, I've kind of jumped around from styles, and you know, I'll get real into an artist or a style for however long it takes, and once I've kind of digested all that, I kind of move along. So, you know, from the alternative stuff, I started getting into the Allman Brothers, which I guess was starting to get into the whole jam scene, and Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big influence. Started playing a Strat, so obviously that was someone to imitate from the get-go, and also had that more technical edge and more complicated song structure, even though it still is the blues. Went to college, obviously, you know, started meeting a lot of new people, listening to a lot of new music, and that's probably when I started listening to Fish, was in 97. That was a big influence for me. You know, that was real complicated for me, learning a lot of those songs around that time. I was also into Rush, learning, just getting into the more technical aspect of things. And a couple years later, like I said earlier, picked up the mandolin, got into bluegrass. I've spent a little bit of time with classical fingerstyle guitar, some of the bossa feels, and you know, Latin jazz and Spanish feels too. So there's always something new for me to listen to and get into, and it's basically just I'm digesting one style until it's all chewed up, and then I find something else.
So even though you just mentioned a few minutes ago, you start out with some of the grunge stuff. There's really no grunge on here. Why is that?
I don't know. I guess I just feel like that's a part of my life that really reminds me of my youth, and I mean, I guess it should be an influence because obviously it's what started me playing music, but it's also just I've gotten so far past that as far as the styles that I'm into. I felt like it would kind of stick out maybe, you know, amongst some soft melodic Steve Kimmock and some odd time signature jazz here, and some raucous guitars just wouldn't really fit in the blend very well.
So this is more of, I guess, a list of maturation influences.
There you go.